Hello and welcome. So I received my first lot of locomotives to fix from a very nice gentleman. In this video I'm going to go through and explain what's wrong with them and how I'm going to fix them. So what better way to start off than to look at one of his favorite and most prized possessions, a very rare Flip Face Toby. So on Toby we can see that two of the wires, at least from the battery box, have snapped. Let me get that in focus. There we go. You can see both wires have snapped, so he won't run. Very easy to take apart this, but the main body of Toby is going to be more tricky because he has his mechanism for his slip face, and I'll show it to you. Now, Toby is going to be interesting to take apart his body because all the mechanics are sandwiched together inside. So that's going to be a challenge. Next we'll go down to Rocky. Rocky suffers from a similar problem as Toby, where his wires on this side, both wires have snapped. Now this is a good coupling system to try and prevent that. With Rocky on the inside, his wires were too tight, so anytime someone would bend him and twist him on this side, they would fray and snap, so I got to take apart Rocky and somehow figure out a way to open this up. I know there's ways to do it, but I'm curious to find that out. Next we have a remote control James. James is interesting because when you put the batteries on, or in, he doesn't want to power up right away. Instead, when you take his batteries out, the red LED that's on his tender will quickly flash and then go out. So there's something inside of him that's not right. I think one of his boards is bad, but we'll find out. Next we have a TOMY Busy Bee James. For James is a little bit more interesting. None of his wires are broken. Instead, let me flip him over. You can see that one of his battery terminal points on this side broke. So I got to replace that. Luckily, the gentleman sent me a parts James. Now, you can tell James isn't in the best of shape, but it works because I can take this battery terminal and replace this one that's floating around. I'm gonna see if I can't pop this out somehow and replace it with that one. And the same thing happened with the talking Thomas in the back. Just flip it over, pop off Annie, and one of the terminals on this side right here, and then on the underside also suffered the same fate, so you can see where it's just completely missing. And it needs to be fixed. It looks like it's intact now, but you can see that it's got a lot of play to it. So it's not long for this world. Oops, sorry about that. I do have a old steam-along Thomas Annie chassis. And what I plan to do is an experiment. I want to take this core right here. Let me get my little pointer tool. This core right here. Take this part out and swap it with this one. Because it could fit and it may not, but that's going to be the exciting part. For Annie, unfortunately, her drive wheels, they're shot. One of the gears split. So she's unfortunately no longer useful, and I don't have the Thomas that went with her. And speaking of split wheels, this Thomas actually suffers from the same thing. If you look, you can see how one of his wheels goes in a little bit. You can't see it, but the gear inside also has a split in it, which is causing a little bit of, see if I can't do it. Oh, wait, there he goes. A little bit of play but because of the wobbly wheel, he binds and catches and doesn't want to run right. So I have a parts Thomas that I'm going to take apart and see if I can't swap the wheels out. So these are my little projects for the next few days. And as always, I'm open for commissions, $20 any amount of locomotives. Buyer pays shipping both ways. I'll take them apart, fix them, any broken wires, any seized motors. I'll clean, lubricate everything, and get them going again. Next video will be the ones that I get going, and we'll see what happens. See you all soon. Bye!